Hi, everyone. Welcome to Business with Purpose TV, otherwise known as BWPTV. This is the show where we spotlight entrepreneurs, authors, and change makers building businesses aligned with their personal purposes. I'm Chuck Casto, and I'm your host today, and I'm co-hosting with Fran. Fran, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Fran Jesse, and I'm a member of Business with Purpose and here to join you and participate. And I'm looking forward to hearing both Les and Christina.
Yes, yes, we're really excited for both of them. And thank you both for joining us. I do want to let you guys know just a little bit more about BWPTV. Easier to read than say. BWPTV is part of something much bigger. It's the with Purpose movement, which is a nonprofit that we're all part of, where we help entrepreneurs grow through community, education, meaningful relationships, and sharing their stories, just like they're going to be doing here today. So, if you are not already in our Business with Purpose group on Alignable, please join us. And we're talking with people today about something every entrepreneur has, and that's a story. And these two, Les and Kristina, they have a lot of stories. And, through what they've done with their businesses. And so often it's really, if you're an entrepreneur, it's so much really, it's just a part of your life. People say, oh, your business is your baby. Well, it is. And it's a baby that needs to be continually fed and cared for, too. And there are
Mhm.
different things that happen along the way. So, it's very interesting in even having the people who signed up to do the book. This one book here that started it all, Built with Purpose. Les and Christina both have chapters in here. Thank you, Les. There you go. And we'll be talking about that. But we wanted to dive in first and talk to both of you about, just get a little intro from you. Christina, why don't we start with you? Just tell us, a little bit about your business, a little bit about who you are, and then the wackiest fact about you, fun fact, and I do ask for PG-13. That's
Okay.
all I ask.
Oh, you're funny. Well, I'm usually known as Christina with a K because I've had to say it so much because everybody wants to spell it with a CH. So I'll start there. But I came into my business completely unplanned, and ironically, it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me because I am by nature a caregiver and a planner. Been doing what I do now for about 18 years, and
Great.
live outside Topeka, Kansas now, and I moved around my whole life. Uh, a little, I guess, I don't know how crazy of a fact I really have about me, but I would say the biggest thing is I'm big time OCD, but I am faith based. I don't go to church every Sunday, but do have a faith base, and I believe that's gone a long way in my career. And one of the things I did early on in my career when I lost my job in 2008, apologize, I'm clearing my throat here, was that I put together a book and I was constantly writing down inspirational quotes. So I have a book of about 500 pages. Just again, it's an OCD thing or a faith or something and wrong in my brain. I don't know. But I just constantly, that's what got me through. I was unemployed for 6 months. I came into my career that I'm in now, being self-employed, working for a company, and it's what kept me going along with other things. And so it's just a thing. I'm big on numbers and big on signs that, and there's been some crazy signs. I will say something real quick. I don't know how much longer I have, but something happened recently with my father-in-law passed away a little over a year ago, Vietnam veteran,
Oh,
and I was doing some things and I was doubting myself a little bit, as you know, can happen. And we had this red cardinal. We'd never seen him in 24 years of living where I live. All of a sudden, it started coming and hitting on our window, and the day that I was really kind of down on things, it
bummed
came
out. Yeah.
it came and hit my window a few times. Don't ask me why it's doing that, but I saw it as a sign. And I was like, Christina, keep going, have faith. So that's a little snippet of my what keeps me going.
That's great. Was it a bright cardinal? Do you think it was a male cardinal, or do you
It
remember?
it could be because honestly, just a little bit ago, it was doing on the window right before I got on here, and I mean, I'm not a woo woo person, but that being said, it was literally just doing it before I got on this call with us right now, and I just go, oh my gosh, this is happening for a reason. So corny, I know, and I went to McDonald's not too long ago. Who doesn't once in a while? And there was some sticky notes around the bathroom mirror. And I posted it on Facebook too, that I was, again, Mondays are hard and I was going through some challenges. And it said, if you're having a rough day, take one of these sticky notes. Of all things in the women's bathroom, and they could have let the toilet overflow, they could have let the water running, they left all these little sticky notes. I took the one, it's blue sticky notes. It says everything happens for a reason. And I
Mhm.
just, there you go. I just corny, I know, but I just have to believe in those things. So,
Well, there's nothing corny about it. And interestingly, Sherry, who was helping us with this behind the scenes, has
mhm,
told me whenever I show up on a Zoom with her, birds
mhm.
do interesting things outside of her window. Okay. So, and
Okay.
I have a whole thing with birds and spiritual messengers and all of that. So that's, yeah, none of that, especially the bird knocking on the window. Okay, that's really you can't miss that. And it's a great positive sign, usually of a male relative who is close to you. It's not that they're the bird, it's just that the bird is sort of right with them. And that's what a lot of people believe. So, hey, if it made you feel good, that's what really counts, and it made
Exactly.
you feel supported, that's what really counts. I can't tell you what happened in the McDonald's bathroom. I'm not sure what all's going on there, but I found that interesting too. Thank you.
You're
Uh,
welcome. Uplift people.
yes, yes, and that's very much what we're all here to do too. So thank you for sharing those. Those were very interesting. Les, how about you? We gave you a little time to ponder this one a little. What do you have cooking over there? And be sure to tell everybody about your business and your purpose, and really the funky thing that nobody knows about you, but will make someone laugh.
Great to be here. Chuck and Fran. Fran and I have spoken. Chuck, I've seen you a zillion times in
Yeah,
group.
great to see you.
You as
Yeah.
well. So I'll start. I'm Les Cseh, and I always like to say how you pronounce it because you would be amazed for four little letters how many ways I've heard people pronounce it. I usually play a little game where I ask people to guess, but so it's just chess, or Chad like chess or Czech, but stop after the E. It's a Hungarian name that actually
Oh, I was gonna
means,
ask.
and it actually means from the Czech Republic. So when I went to
Oh,
visit relatives a few years ago, I thought I'd spend a little time, go trace family roots somewhere in Slovakia or Czechia. But it turns out, and here's my real fun fact with this, my dad's family actually traces to, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Transylvania.
There you
Wow.
go.
So I went and spent a week driving all around Romania and the Transylvania area, and it was very, very cool, beautiful part of the world
And what era was that? Way back what year about?
that I did the travel about three
No,
years
no,
ago.
the
Oh,
Transylvania area was because I'm not familiar with when
oh,
it was.
so that was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire about before all that got separated. So back, I think, in the 30s, 40s. I'm
Okay.
not sure. I'm
A
terrible.
little earlier. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Just a tidbit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. Unless I do want to hear more about you, but it's interesting, Christina, you're bringing up these things that are coincidental, to say the least, although I think that serendipity. Les, I am 35% Hungarian.
Ah, I would not have guessed from your name.
Yeah, well, the name hides a lot. The eyebrows don't though. Those are the authentic Slavic eyebrows. And my mom really had them, and hers were like this. Hers were like carrot tops. But anyway, but for different reasons. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. We'll have to talk about that. It's a
Hmm.
very passionate group of people, the Hungarians, and my group came from Slovenia. But
Okay.
but on their, in the census, they put down that they were Hungarian, even
Mm-hmm.
though they had lived in Slovenia for hundreds of years. So,
Cool. Do you speak any of the language?
no, I don't, and I haven't visited, and I really would love to. I really would love to visit that whole area. And I've run into people who have a lot of people who've taken trips to Hungary over the last year. So many of them unalignable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Les, I was wondering if that was a secret Slavic name. Love it. I love that. So talk to us a little bit about your business, though.
Sure. And I'll also start with that I'm in Canada, just north of New York State. And in case anyone is wondering, because there have been some tensions and between the countries, I'm very good friends with with my American neighbors. So I'm anxiously looking forward to that situation settling down because again, especially living so close to the border all my life, I don't really sense a difference, to be honest.
Right?
So my business, it's called Results Pathfinder, and I help the smallest business owners, those that need to do the marketing themselves, that can't afford an agency, those that find themselves posting and posting and posting on social media, and like so many, only getting a few sympathy likes.
Hmm.
Those that aren't getting clicks or calls, and they're hearing so much advice, do TikTok videos, do this, do that. But who do they believe? There's so much coming at them. They just want to be running their business.
Hmm.
So that's who I help. I help them find the low hanging fruit. And if they need help, I either help them myself or I refer them to some good, affordable people that I trust, some of them from Alignable.
Hmm.
Now, it's important to add here, despite what your eyes are telling you, and I know it's tough to believe, I'm not a young TikTok influencer. And if you're wondering, if you're
Wait,
wondering,
I thought you were tops 24, Les. Tops.
so if you're wondering what Grandpa here knows about digital marketing and tech, I'm actually a tech nerd from way back when. And I grew another business from my home to eventually, after quite the adventure, to a team of 30, which meant I got to spend well into the six figures learning marketing and tech from the best and working with some amazing marketers. And for example, in my last business, we had built up over 16,000 reviews. So I may be old, but I'm not young, which is actually an advantage here.
Well, you know what you're doing. And I have seen it quoted on LinkedIn, naturally, by someone over 50, saying that the people who built this technology that everyone's trying to get used to are usually people who were 50 plus.
Hmm.
So we've all been getting used to it forever. And we're very adaptable. And you've actually been involved with the people actually building it.
Hmm.
So yes. Yeah, very good point. Very good point, Les. And I'm sure people are excited to see what you can come up with for them because, in social media, you and I know it's all about tailoring. And we each have, those of us who do social media a lot, we each have different tricks that have worked for us. So. That's all good. That's exciting, Les. Wow. And as for the Canadian and and US stuff, I would imagine you might be getting many friends from the US visiting you and maybe not coming back. So you know, let's see. I think they'd love to hang out with you. Let's put it that way. So I wanted to sort of shift here. And Fran and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what made you decide to be an author. And I know Fran with her publishing that she's doing, maybe it was Fran that made you decide to be an author. But talk to us about that. Christina, how about you? What brought you to this and to being featured. You have your names on the back of this here, right on the back cover. What brought you to this, Kristina?
What brought me to
Or
this one?
who?
Or
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
who?
How'd you end up in here? Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. That's a good story. I feel like I've had the story in me for quite some time, and through a lot of the challenges, which is part of my chapter in the book, it's what led me here because we've all had life events, a lot of things happen in our worlds, and when I had gone through some of these things and kept going and been resilient over and over and over, I'd have clients that would tell me, you need to write a book. You need to do that. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that in my spare time. And then things kept happening, and then we had COVID and working from home more, being more isolated, and then, more things happened within my family, and I got on Alignable. Alignable is part of my adventure and my journey. And when I write a full book, everyone's going to be in that full book because Alignable has just been a godsend for a lot of reasons. I tell people it's a hidden gem with the people that
That's
I've met
great
on
to
here.
hear. Yeah.
Yes. And so it was over a year and a half of a lot of networking on Alignable. And I was going to do it all last year. I was going to write this book. And then lo and behold, I believe at the beginning of this year, or maybe the end of last year, I lose track, it somehow came about through the Business with Purpose, and I knew Sue enough or Sherry enough. I don't know them really, really well, but I know everybody's on the different coast than I am. So, and but then I thought, okay, this is a sign. See, going back to the signs. And I said, if this is a sign of something, and I've been stuck for so long, I was like, okay, it's a chapter in a book, but Kristina, it's a chapter. You got to get yourself mentally unstuck. And so it's opened up a lot of things since then, and it was just really a true sign that it was meant to be, and it's all coming together and going forward. So that's how it all happened.
It's page 121, folks. I do want anybody sorry, not reading this, watching this, to go to Amazon because it's still an Amazon bestseller. And it's been out for now a couple of months. And she's page 121. There she is. There she is.
Mhm.
Live and
Thank you.
in print.
Thank
Live
you.
and in print. Yes, so please go read her story. We'll still hear some of it here, but it's very affordable on Amazon, and the proceeds go toward Business with Purpose to help other small businesses to do what they need to do and really live their purpose. So that's a little plug for the book and Kristina here all at once, but you do need to read that story. Thank you, Kristina. Les, how about you? How in the world did you end up in this?
Well, first, I'm going to second your recommendation. I read Christina's story recently, also in the book, and as literally all the stories in this book they are so inspiring. And that touches also why I'm in this book. So this is book number 2 for me. This is not to plug it. I wrote, you can probably see it in my background, the book about getting more reviews. And so I
Oh,
have a good sense of the effort that it takes to go and publish a book, because I did it all myself. And
all
the
right.
and I noticed, yeah, oh, Philip, thank you. Yes, actually, Fran,
Yes,
bless
dear.
you, was purchaser number 1 of my book.
Oh
All
I
my God.
right.
I announced it on Alignable, and she got back to me very quickly with it, and not only purchased it but also wrote a lovely review, which was especially fitting given that it's a book about reviews and how important they are.
Yeah, the ironies here are just at the left and right. Okay, so how did you end up in this one though?
Yeah, so I'm completely sold on the value of books, just from a raw marketing standpoint. I mean, the credibility that you have. And I do a lot of content. I do on social media. I've got blog posts. I've got another book that's in the works. But all of those are the how books, not the why books. And so when Fran and Sue in particular started to talk about this project, both with Business with Purpose in general and this book specifically, that really stood out to me. But also, they really made a very good case, they prepared so well so that it wasn't going to be this huge amount of effort. Because again, it was fresh in my mind how much work it took to create that first book. So it was the combination of that. And also, as I started to see the authors that were lining up for this project, to be in that kind of company of people that care. So they're people that are not out there selling, they're out there helping other people and then hearing their stories and their journeys. It was just a perfect world of all of them. So if I circle that back, Fran was instrumental in inspiring me to set aside my insane schedule because she was going to make it as easy as possible to get my chapter done. And she just made it so easy all the way through the process. And I'm just thrilled to be in it.
Oh, that's super. Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Fran here too. For anyone, we are also working on other books. Well, I'll ask Fran to get into that later in our program, but yeah, we're working on a lot of things and she has made it so incredibly easy,
Not
which is
alone. Not alone.
no. Well, you and Sue, we got to give Sue some lot of credit too. Yes. And you're
And if
both
I may, if I
Leos,
may add,
so I want to give you tons of credit. Go ahead, Les.
and if I can just add one more thing to that, to Fran and Sue's credit, I think this goes in particular to Fran. You know the expression herding cats. So imagine, what is it, 42 authors
Hurting entrepreneurs,
on
same
a
thing.
tight
Yeah.
deadline and pulling that all together, and the
Yikes.
editing, the formatting, the just images. I mean, just that alone. Yeah, so that was an amazing accomplishment, friend.
We did it.
Yes, amazing, amazing. So, why don't I want to shift here a little bit and talk about just about, sort of your business life, right? And then how life, you touched on it, Christina. Again, it's the best way to put it is it's either serendipity or rolling with the punches, right? And dealing with the challenges and just sort of, making it all work out. Is there a particular moment for you that and and you're like, what, today? Oh no, I mean in your life, a moment for you in your life where you really were like, boy, I just need to do this. I'm not even sure why I'm doing it, but I need to do it. Bringing you right all the way to the present here.
And you mean do it as in the career that I'm in
Yeah,
or
yeah, and continuing with it too, because it's one thing when we feel like we sort of were led to something and we started and we do all that. It's another thing to really keep building it and sticking with it.
right. Well, I always tell people when I came into this business almost 18 years ago, it was unplanned, but in a way it was planned. If you believe in, again, these things happening. And when
Yes,
I lost my job in 2008, like a lot of other people did,
yes.
it was 6 months of unemployment, never been unemployed in my whole life. Very scary, raising three sons plus a significant other, which actually four sons, I guess. I like to lovingly say we're separated now, but
Okay,
uh,
okay.
for a little while. But and I kept, getting these job opportunities. But I was at a point in my life I was soul searching. I was like, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? Where you know, I wasn't one of those people who's privileged to just know exactly what I wanted to do. My mom was a nurse, and I applaud that profession, but she's had numerous back surgeries, knee surgeries, things like that. And I took the test to become a nurse. I passed a lot of them, but I was like, no, I don't think I want to draw blood and do things, the things that I didn't want to have to do. And that being said, whenever I was still soul searching and getting these job opportunities or these interviews, I interviewed at a financial firm. And I credit that firm to this day for where I'm at now. I didn't take that particular position because you had to get 200 people. I was new to the area, didn't know anybody. I'd had to go through the phone book. And I'm like, I wouldn't know how to go get anybody on a phone book.
Right.
And you had to pay for an office, which was not inexpensive. And I'd come from a salary position, which wasn't great
Mhm.
either in hindsight, but at least I was getting paid, consistently.
Right.
And so I thanked them, and I still know where they're at to this day, and still know the guy that works there. And but when I started getting calls from where I'm at now, I was still unsure. But a lot of things that when I came into them spoke to me. And the gentleman that where I interviewed, and I am a 1099, but I do work for, I have a backing of a great company. He said to have hope. And I'll never forget it to this day, to have hope. And I was like, okay. And of course, you got to learn, you got to put a lot of hard work and follow up and things like that. And I was like, well, heck, I've been working for somebody else for so long, I can surely do it for myself. And the people that we generally help are typically people who are confused by these things. We have so many crises going on in our own personal lives, our work lives, our business lives, other people's lives, and what have you. And I thought, okay, I'm just a natural planner. I've been that as a mother, a parent, having three sons. Gosh, you have to plan a lot for these young men growing up in this world. And so I decided to jump off into the deep end and become and come just jump into it. And I've never, well, I shouldn't say that because I wouldn't be being truthful. My supervisor to this day, I think I went to him practically every day and said, I'm not cut out for this. I'm not cut out for this. And he'd say, Kristina, no one is. And I was like, okay. So, okay, I get it. No one survives in this industry hardly. So how
Back to it. Yeah, you'll make your own success. Right, right.
right. But I looked with the end in mind, and I thought, just work hard, keep building those clients up, follow up, treat people right, be authentic, be real. And again, Medicare is confusing. Social Security is confusing. We're living longer. Do we die too soon? Do we live too long? Are we going to take care of our loved ones? Are they going to take care of us? And then you have throw in all the money part of it, the financial part of it, the tax and estate planning. And I just thought, okay, that's job security right there. And all I got to do is just step up, be there, like I've already said. And how can I go wrong? And so,
And help
I,
people. Yeah, because
and
the need is there. Right.
exactly. And I jumped in, became an agent for a few years, became a trainer for another 6 years. And I've had some life events happen that I had to pull out of management, which was hard for me. And then I was also became an advisor. So I had a lot of stepping stones, and it'll mention that a little bit more in the chapter that I'm in. And I do want to do a full book later. This is just a little tiny little jumping off point, but it's a big jumping off point. We got to start with the tiny things to lead into the big things. And so I just really believe in those signs, and I'm gonna sign you guys to death. But that's where it's at.
Well, you were preaching to the choir. Yeah, the signs. Yeah, yeah. You were definitely preaching to at least one choir here. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And I laugh
Um,
a lot. I laugh a lot
you
because
got
either people think
to.
I'm crazy, or they say, or they're going to be crying. They don't want to sit here and listen to you cry all day. So just keep on laughing. So
Yeah.
Christina, having survived 18 years in that industry, you have done a phenomenal job. No matter whether it's your ups and downs, whatever, you are being commended. You are still with it. You believe in it, and you are still there. And I'm proud to have you in our book. So thank you.
thank you, Fran. I appreciate that.
That's amazing. Now, Les, I do want to say I want to make sure for anyone buying this on Amazon, right? Everyone's heard of Amazon. Okay, he is on page 129. You don't want to miss it. 129. Okay. Go out, get the book, guys, and read Les's story. And then the other thing is too, what I love about BWPTV is that this gives someone, they could go back and watch this again and be like, oh my God, you know what? Christina said some interesting things on here. I want to go talk to her about that. Or Les, geez, okay, I'm Hungarian too. Or I am a digital guy who is over 50. You know, again, we're all looking for commonalities, right? So that's why we do this, and that's why we're doing this. You never know who's going to read your story and be very affected by it, which is
That's
really that's exciting, right?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to say real quick about Les. I read his story and I was like, oh gosh, I need to talk to him. So it's really neat that we're meeting today in this way too. So
maybe you manifested it, Christina. I think I'm going to send you a couple of things to manifest and see what happens. You have a lot of interesting things going on around you. And Les, you too, man. You've got a lot of good secrets. I know that. Like it's you come off as so authoritative, right? You both do. Um, but don't hide your light, guys. That's the other reason we've been doing these books is don't hide your light under a bushel, because this people need to read these stories. So Les, I just wanted to ask you, what about a major turning point in your life that sort of led you to all of this?
Well,
Or is it a bunch of them?
yeah, I was going to say similar to what Christina was describing. I'd say none of my career or life has come anywhere near what I planned or had in mind. But as opportunities came up and I went after them, just that seemed the right direction to be going in. So going way back, again, I mentioned I'm a technical guy, so I was doing coding and IT. And if I had to guess at that point, I wanted to have a software company. But I'm on this project, and no, I might have to explain this for the young people on here. Way back when the Earth was cooling, we used to pay for we used to pay for things by writing on pieces of paper called checks. And on the bottom of checks, they have these funny little symbols.
I hate to date myself here. I'm going to just lift that up quickly. Yeah, that's what a check looks like. Anyway,
So those numbers and symbols on the bottom, they're called magnetic ink character recognition symbols. And I became an expert about that because of this project I was on. And one thing led to another, and I ended up starting a check printing business.
Oh,
Again, I'm a tech guy. I know nothing about business marketing, just that I'm so shy and I hated working for other people. I wanted my own thing. And here was an opportunity. And I said, hey, this is pretty nice. I can do this from home and kind of promote it on the internet, which was brand new at the time. So that's how it all began. It started in a little 10 by 10 room in the very house that you see behind me, which a quick little fun fact for you. Do you notice the unusual walls? These round pieces
I've
of
been
wood.
looking at that and I wanted to know if that's real or not,
It
first
is
of all.
real. It's very real. It's an adapted old pioneer technique called stackwood or cordwood, stack wall or cordwood building. And back in the day when we had these Mother Earth Jones and these Back to the Land kind of magazines, I'd always be seeing these articles by, I built this 4,000 square foot home for $12,000. And so I fell for it. And I'm not saying that they were deceiving. They knew what they were doing. They were handymen. I was not. But anyhow, based on this, my wife and I did actually build this house this way because it's true. The walls, anyone can do this. It's just cutting 2 foot lengths of wood, mixing up mortar. So anyhow, in this very house, in a little 10 by 10 room, my wife and I started the little check printing business. And it grew 1 person, 2 person, 3 people. And remember, I'm a really shy guy, and I've got 3 people coming into my house every day, and they're just running around answering phones, filing stuff. It was crazy. So finally got to move them out. But the crises were endless. And again, I'm a shy guy. I'm happiest behind the laptop in my man cave. It was every day was cash flow, it was HR, it was cross-border stuff. So anyhow, somehow survived it, grew it, came up to about a team of 30 people that about 3 years ago I was able to sell to a competitor, and it worked out just great. But again, marketing was everything. It was the only way. The checks are declining. I had tough competitors with deep pockets, and it was marketing that had to be everything in order to survive and grow. I learned a ton, but I never forgot that struggle, that little room, the dream, knowing almost nothing about anything, the endless problems, and I just wanted to run my business. So I kept thinking, okay, how do I translate all of this amazing stuff that I've been able to invest in to learn to the me that was 30 years ago today. And that's basically the journey, how I got to where I did. And the one other aspect that was great then, but it's even better now, which ties into the business with purpose. I've always been looking to help community where I could. Even in my toughest times, I always felt blessed compared to so many people that didn't get the breaks and the blessings that I did. So we would do things like we'd check designs about, say, war veterans, and then we'd donate a portion to that cause, or to cancer support and donate a portion. But I always wanted to do a little more. So now, between my Results Pathfinder business, and I just recently started a local newsletter for my community, I'm getting to amplify the messages of the amazing people in the community, all of the volunteers, all of the needs of the causes and the great stories that are out there, and using the marketing smarts that I've picked up along the way. So it's all just beautifully come together. And again, it's just driven by passion. I want to share the blessings that I've been able to gain and help others lift them up also.
That's incredible. That's just incredible. And Les, for a shy guy, you tell one heck of a story. I mean, you really do. You know, you're doing great. Let me ask you
Thank you.
this. What is the one mistake looking back? And again, was it a mistake that led to better things or whatever? But what's the one thing you would not repeat out of everything you've done on the in terms of being an entrepreneur?
Wow. Wow.
And we can give you a little time on that. I could ask Kristina too. I'm going to leave it open for who has something first. And
Yeah.
Fran, we
Actually,
can,
let's Christina, if you're up for answering that, switch to, I need to think about that.
Okay. Well, now that you're putting me here, okay, just kidding. Um, I would say I would have just really jumped in quicker, with believing that I could do it sooner.
Mhm.
And it's, if you could do it sooner, because I was not, I wasn't, coming out of college and going into what I did.
Mhm.
So if I could have done it sooner, maybe had some work experience, although I have been told that it took that work experience to appreciate when I did get to that part too. So, but if I could have done it a little earlier and had a few more years in this industry and what have you, that's probably where I would have done if I'd have known about it sooner. They don't teach this stuff in schools. They don't tell you to go out and be in insurance and finance.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
don't. They don't. Les, how about you? Did you come up with something?
Yeah, but I'm going to say it with qualification. So
Okay.
one of my marketing mentors, and more than one actually, they preach that perfection is the enemy of progress. So,
Mhm.
so many entrepreneurs, they want to get it just right. And that can get in the way. It's much better to get something out there that's imperfect, because you'll learn from that. There's a good chance your perfect thing is not going to be on target anyways, and you're going to need to adjust it. And the reason I say with trepidation is you also don't want to put out something that's too not thought out or whatever. So you need to find that balance. So, um, but if I had to err on one side or the other, just get something out there as quickly as you can, start getting feedback, and that's going to just drive everything from there.
Okay, that's super. Now we only have 5 minutes left. Okay. So, Fran, is there something in particular you would like to ask these folks before we wrap up?
Well, I've been listening so intently, and so I kind of want to know what your overall experience is with BWP. I know you've said a few things, but we have some new ideas coming up and new books coming up called the Expert Series, and that's individual books on your expertise. And so, but your experience with our first book for the viewers to tell them if it was kind of like to come and check out, just what would you say? What kind of a review would you give us? Okay.
Les?
Yeah, sure.
On
Um,
this spot, we need your help. And so
yeah.
it's great to hear from from the actual horse's mouth who actually went through the process. And that would be very helpful. Great.
So I was watching a couple of the previous episodes of
Mhm.
WPTV, and one of the questions that was asked there too was, what if my story is boring, or who wants to hear my story? So even though that's not exactly your question, and I'll get to your question too, I first wanted to put that thought out there that I spent a lot of time learning about communication, and everybody's got a story, and everyone has a different perspective and way of receiving it. So sure, for some people, maybe your story is boring, but for somebody else, it may be the exact story that they want to hear and need to hear. And then
Mhm.
second is if the idea of uh, creating a book or even being participating in a chapter in a book is intimidating, understandably, because there is so much to it. Um, Fran and the team at Business with Purpose, they really make it painless. I mean, you would not believe how little time and effort it takes on your end. And they will work with you also to polish it and just overcome anything. So and just like Chuck and Fran and Sue and Sherry are doing, not only will they get the book out with you in it and your message, they're going to promote the daylights out of it. So there's quite a few good reasons I would highly recommend
Thank
considering it.
you, Les. That's great. Yeah, we're still promoting the daylights out of it right to this minute.
Right.
Kristina, how about you?
Right.
How do you like the process?
It was just wonderful. And just like, with what Les was saying, exactly. I couldn't say it any better myself. It's good that you went first. um, it was at the right time, but then also the purpose behind it, business with purpose, right? And, I just thought, okay, how can it get any better than knowing, that you have a bigger purpose than yourself? And even if you think your story's maybe not important, or you're the only one, or whatever your reasoning behind it is, just if you can just do it a couple chapters and make someone resonate with that, or feel your story, or know, okay, I'm not going to give up now, you know and we all have things we go through, but that higher purpose and giving back is really huge, and that's what I want to give back to the mental health, and what some things that's happened in my own world with my own family. And so when you do something bigger than yourself, it's powerful. And that's what resonated with me. The right timing, waited a year, procrastinating forever on a book. And then all of a sudden, Sue and Fran and Chuck and everybody else in the crew started talking about it. So it was just meant to be. And Sherry over there somewhere. Everybody else is involved. I don't want to leave anybody else out. But thank you. I can't say it made it simple. I do not need complicated in my world. Simple is good. And they promoted it. I didn't even know until Chuck said it's still Amazon #1. So, what
Um,
can you say?
I do have a question, Christina. When you first finished your chapter and you read it, how did you feel?
I felt very moved and good that I was truly amazed. I was like, I thought it was going to be a lot harder than do that. But it does kind of flow out of you. But then with the help and support that I had, and then I know we talked back and forth a few times and text and messaged and different things, but I didn't feel alone. I didn't
Hmm.
feel alone in it. And a lot of times I've been a lone wolf in my world, and I've just had to do it.
Wow.
And now with Alignable and everybody else, I just feel like I've got my crew, and you
Uh-huh.
know, and we're not giving up on each other. That
No, we are not, and I'm looking at the time, and we're getting the hook. We're getting the hook, so I need to we need to wrap up. Thank you everyone for joining us, and please go visit us businesswithpurpose.org. Look at the offers that we have to do your own book, your expert series, be an expert, part of that expert series. There are other books too. Please get involved, and we will see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Big hugs to
Brandon.
both of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
It was
everyone.
great being on here.
Les, Kristina, you're the best.
Thank you.
Both
Okay.
of you.
Thank